Wow. The Lakers are just okay, whatever. So you guys probably know by now that the Los Angeles Lakers just added in like every free agent available besides Kawhi and DeMar DeRozan. If you don't know this, then you're probably living under a rock. And LeBron, I guess, did his magic, which Magic Johnson was never able to do as a literal GM of the team. So LeBron is basically a player, coach, GM, president, vice president, and I don't know whatever else for the Lakers front office. He managed to sign Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, Russell Westbrook, Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, Kent Bazemore, and Dwight Howard for the third time in his career. And with this team literally having more than 100 players, can they beat the Brooklyn Nets? Now, before we start comparing the two teams, we have to take a look at who the Brooklyn Nets signed themselves. Not as much as the Lakers, but they still had a few signings. They re-signed Blake Griffin and Bruce Brown to one-year deals, and Patty Mills and James Johnson as veteran presence or something. Mills was playing like MJ in the Olympics before he got eliminated by USA like 5 minutes ago, at least at the time I'm recording the video. I don't know when you guys are going to be seeing this, when it's going to come out. Obviously, the Nets still have Kyrie, James Harden, and KD, which is supposedly an unstoppable trio, and if they were healthy last year, we all know what would have happened. So assuming that they are healthy next season, along with the Lakers roster of like 769 players themselves, would they be able to match up against the Lakers? Or vice versa, I guess. Would the new look Lakers be able to match up against the new look Nets? Stay tuned to find the answer. But before we begin, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we're on the grind to 200 and the offseason is just getting crazy. We have a trade or signing happening every 10 minutes, and Woj and Shams are the busiest people alive, so you wouldn't want to miss any upload from my channel. Hopefully. Alright, so taking a quick look at the Lakers starting lineup and comparing it to the Nets starting lineup, we have Russell Westbrook at point guard, Malik Monk's most likely at shooting guard, LeBron at the small forward, and they can either have Melo at power forward, Carmelo Anthony by the way, and AD at center, or they can have AD at power forward and Dwight Howard or Marc Gasol at the center position. Whatever it is, this is still a lethal starting five. But compared to the Nets starting five, it doesn't look all that impressive. To match up with Westbrook, the Nets have Kyrie at point guard, and it's debatable, but I would take Kyrie over Westbrook any day of the week just because of Westbrook's turnover rate, which, by the way, is very high. Harden over Monks at shooting guard for sure, and then we have the small forward position, KD and LeBron. It's a tough decision, yes, but I guess it's gotta be KD because LeBron is just getting older, and sometimes you could see him being really tired last season as well. Anthony Davis is better than whoever the Nets are planning to keep at power forward. And then DeAndre Jordan at center for the Brooklyn Nets is just not good anymore. Sorry, DJ, but it is what it is. So it doesn't matter who the Lakers have at that position. That means that comparing the starting five of both teams, we see that the Nets are better. But that's just not it. You can't compare players like that. You can't compare starting lineups like that. We gotta have more information. The fitting of the team, the bench, the coaching, and all the other tiny little details which people usually don't even talk about. You guys probably know MJ2K20. If you know me, you probably know him. He explained this really well, and I think I won't be able to explain it better than him, so just take a listen.
Lakers have an old roster? Yes. But are they effective? Yes. They got the shooters, they got the veteran savvy, they got their role players,
Basically, he was trying to say that the Lakers have good shooters now, which they didn't have in their championship run 2 years ago. They have veterans who can actually play and not just there for the presence of being there, but to make an actual impact game-wise and basketball-wise. They have star power, obviously, and are just very well-rounded as a team. They have defensive threats, offensive threats, and threats.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
The Nets are great offensively, one of the best offensive teams of all time, but defensively, they're just not so good. They have some shot blockers, but that just won't cut it alone. Perimeter defense nowadays is key in the NBA since basketball evolved into the three-point game, not dunking game. That's why players like Rudy Gobert winning the Defensive Player of the Year award just doesn't make sense to me at all. But as we all know the Nets offense is just so lethal that it takes away from the bad defense. We know that even with the horrific defense, the Nets would have won the chip if healthy. So does that mean that defense doesn't even matter now? No, it does not at all. As much as how good the Nets are, without defense, they would not have gone to the NBA Finals. I'm telling you right now. And if they did, they wouldn't have won. When I said that we all know the Nets would have won last year, I was lying. Sorry, but yes, I was lying. Defense is one of the most important aspects of the game. You can score all you want. It's actually practically very easy to understand. You can score all you want, but if you can't stop the other team from scoring, how are you going to win the game? How are you going to maintain the lead? Right? I mean, hopefully you get it. It's simple, but complicated, I guess, as well. While the saying defense wins championships is not fully correct, it has some bit of truth in it. Defense isn't everything. It's just a part of everything. Hopefully you get that. Winning basketball games takes a lot of grit, offensively and defensively. But now, as we reach our main topic, not defense, but are the Lakers better than the Brooklyn Nets already? I think what we discussed basically summed it all up. It's pretty easy to understand. The Nets have a bit more star power in their starting lineup, but the overall team isn't as good. They had defenders last year, I guess they weren't so good. They just need that finishing touch of a great defender, and actually 3 great defenders. Whether they have to bench James Harden to start a defender, yeah, this might be a hot take, benching James Harden to start a good defender, good perimeter defender, but that's just according to me, and we all have our opinions. They can roll with this offensive lineup, this regular lineup in the regular season, but in the playoffs, it's going to be damn important to have a great defender on your starting lineup who can guard the 1 through 3, if not the 1 through 4, which would be absolutely terrific. And the veteran presence is good and all, but the veterans like James Johnson, Patty Mills is still decent as a player, but James Johnson, I think as a presence, it's fine, but he's not going to be effective during the actual game. I think that's why they're not going to play him at all during the actual game. Lakers, on the other hand, they have Melo, who's still very good at this age, and a good veteran presence as well. But guys, to wrap it up, I personally think that the Lakers, they're just better than the Nets, in my opinion. And if you have a different opinion, that's completely fine. And it's not wrong. But if you do have a different opinion, then I would please request you to leave it in the comments below so I can read it and make a comment back to you and heart your comment and like your comment and whatever else you want me to do. Also, if you guys have any video ideas, and suggest them down in the comments as well. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day and see you all next time.